Prime Day is around the corner, and I wanted to give you guys a system that you can implement to help you realize your account's full potential on Prime Day. So let's go and hop right in. One thing I did want to show you though is I was doing some research about Prime Day 2017 just to learn, just to get refreshed. I've done research like this before, mainly just to grab data. I went to eConsultancy, which I feel like is a good data source. And here's what really stood out to me, that sales grew by 60% year over year. So from 2016's Prime Day to 2017 Prime Day, it grew by 60%. And it's estimated that in 2016, Prime Day did between $500 to $600 million in revenue. And so that in 2017, estimated they surpassed $1 billion in sales in one day. That is like, I don't know how to explain it. That's mind-blowing. I mean, there are so many things that are mind-blowing about that. I mean, the simple fact that their servers could handle that type of transaction load and that type of activity. I mean, there are so many pieces that I could go into where I'm just blown away and impressed by Amazon's, efficiency, technology, and just ability to generate a ton of money for Amazon sellers and for themselves. And so this just goes to show how big of an impact and how fast it's growing. And so I wanted to, let you know about this because, we know it's big, but until you have the numbers, you don't know how big. So it's big, real big. And so let me hop back in. That being said, on this specific module, we're going to cover campaign budget increases. So we're going to cover how to determine which budgets to increase and by how much. And this is a really, we're taking a more profit-driven approach to our campaign budget increases. Not necessarily profit-driven, but a more target-based approach. And I'm going to show you what that means. So here's what we want to do. We want to, all right, let me see here. First off, we need to know, we have here column A, which has a SKU in it, and then we have our target ACoS. So, you want to know what your target ACoS is for a product, right? Like, is it 20%? Is it 30%, 40, 50, 10, 15? So you want to know what your target ACoS is. And people generally measure that based on their profit margin, right? If you have a 30% margin and you want to go really aggressive, you might say, hey, I want to do a 40% ACoS because I don't mind losing money on the advertising because it's a really high volume product organically. Or you might want to say, hey, I want to be more profitable right now. So, if I have a 30% margin, I want to do 25% ACoS as my target. And so in this specific situation, our target ACoS is 42%. Okay, that's our target. And our SKU is right here. So this is the target ACoS and the product itself. Okay, so we've got our target. And here's what we want to do. We basically want to go in and we want to know, so since we know what our target ACoS is for this product, we want to go in and we want to look at our ACoS for the product itself. So this is our target. This isn't the actual ACoS. All right. So what you want to do is you want to go to reports, advertising reports. Oh no, this is bulk. Sorry about that. So you want to go to the advertising reports, which is under reports, advertising reports. You want to pull the advertised product. You want to change it to advertised product. Okay. You want to put your account name, the country of your account. So like, whatever the name of your account is, like widgets, US, APR for advertised product report, and then the time frame that you're pulling this data for, okay? Which is what I have right here. So you want to make sure all these are lined up, and then you just click on create report. All right? And it's going to generate the report for you. Because we want, 30 days worth of data. I just did 6.4 to 7.4. It's going to be roughly 30 days. And then what we want to do is we want to pull our data. So we want to go over here to our bulk operations. Okay. We're going to go to bulk operations, go to download under bulk operations. You can do Excel or CSV. I use CSV for formatting reasons. And then, one thing I did want to point out is when you're selecting these dates, like for example, right now what I have is today is July 6th. Okay. Today's July 6th. So I need a full 24-hour period, just for attribution purposes. That's what I like to do. So if today's the 6th, well, then the 5th would be a full 24-hour period. And so we would want to start at the 4th. So we have a full 24-hour period so we can get some attribution for the PPC. 4th, and then we'll do that. That's what we'll do here. And then we're going to do the same thing as well over here for the bulk data. So what we want to do is we want to do the 4th because today's the 6th. The 5th would be a full 24-hour period. Do the 4th so that we can get, you know, some more trail sales attributed for us. And I just do as far back as I can. So we're going to do 60 days here. I like to gather usually as much data as possible if I can. But you know, it's just one of those things where like we'll get as much as we can and test it and basically make the changes to this one. Hold on, let me see something here. Actually, what you're gonna want to do is, I'm trying to think of, should we do the last 30 days? Yeah, probably because of seasonality. Never mind. We want these to match. So we basically want these to match. It's totally my bad now that I think about it. So we want these time frames to match each other. So 7/4 to 6/4, do 7/4 to 6/4 gives us 30 days worth of data for the PPC. Cool. Yeah, you always want to have time frames matching. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so here's our data. You can download it. All right. I actually have one already for us, ready to go. Let me open it up. All right, so what we've got here is our advertised product report that we just downloaded from the campaign manager. And you want to do insert pivot table, okay? And then what you want to do is you want to do click on advertised SKU in the pivot table field, okay? So advertised SKU, bring it over. So we've got a list of SKUs right here, a list of products. And then what we want to do is click on spend and 7-day total sales. Next thing we want to do is go to fields, calculated field. All right, and I like to do spend, insert field, divided by 7-day total sales. Insert field, okay? Click OK. All right, then we'll go here, click on the column D, click on percentage and go 2 out. I always go 2 out. And then highlight these two, click, and then there you go, $signs. And then now what we want to do is look for that SKU, right? So we want to go back over here and we want to find this SKU. All right. And we want to see what it is. So it's right here. So the SKU is right here. It looks like our target is 42%. And the last 30 days, it was 28%. Okay. So we do want to make changes to this one. We do want to make changes to this one. So we're looking for whether or not our product is equal to or less than our target ACoS. So in this instance, our target ACoS is 42%. So since this is 28%, it's less than 42%. So if it was 42%, we would still do it. So less than or equal to, okay? So it's at 28%, so this qualifies for us to make the changes to the campaigns, okay? Make the changes to the campaigns. And then let's go over here. This is our bulk download. It's the same time frame as the advertised product report. And the reason you want to do that is because you want these numbers to line up. You want these numbers to line up. So having consistency in time frames is really important. Because if you don't have consistency in time frames across different reports and different things you look at, you're just not going to get an accurate analysis. It just won't happen. All right, so we're done here. So it's qualified. So if this was above 42%, then we wouldn't want to make the changes. Or we could change the target. You know, you say, you know what, I actually want it to be like 45, however you want to do that. because people do tend to like to go more aggressive on Prime Day. So what you'll want to do next is, download our our bulk file right here. I've already got one over here. And here's how you want to name the file. Account name, country, 2018 Prime Day budget prep. Okay? I know it's long, but it's a good naming system to name your files and keep them organized. Organization is crucial. I always say that businesses are also called organizations because they have to be organized somehow. Because if they're not organized, then it's just going to be madness. Okay. Also, so here's what we want to do next. So we want to go to Data, Filter. Under Campaign Name, we want to do Contains. Contains our SKU. So going through the PPC AMS Accelerator training program, that we add the SKU to the naming of the campaign name and the ad group name. So if you started this program and you had a lot of campaigns that you did not add the SKU to and you have not renamed them, then you might have to do several filters. Because if you're using, different naming system to identify your products within your campaigns, then use that system. But really the goal is we need to isolate by that specific SKU that we're targeting. So let's go here, SKU, contains, paste it. All right. And then the next thing we want to do under record type over here, go to select campaign. Perfect. Next thing we want to do is go over to our ACOS, just column U. And then what we want to do is less than or equal to 42%, which is our target ACOS. And then for orders, we want to do, because look, here, let me show you. So if you do less than or equal to 42%, it'll include campaigns that have generated 0 sales. Okay? So what we want to do is we want to do greater than or equal to 1 under orders. There we go. Now what we have here is a list of campaigns that we want to increase the budget for, because they've generated, they're efficient. They're what we would call efficient. So the next thing we want to do, here's what we want to do. Save. Okay, we're making all these changes. Select all, copy, paste it here. Before changes. So these are our original budgets for these specific campaigns. Okay. Next thing we want to do is select all, copy, paste, after changes. So now what we want to do is we want to triple these budgets. So we're doing 3x. Well, it's tricky, right? It's one of those things where the reason I got this number is because I consulted with other PPC other people that who run agencies, and I've asked around, and it seems like a lot of people are doing triple their budgets. And so that's what we're gonna go with. And so if we triple the budget, and they're profitable or they're below our target, doesn't necessarily have to be profitable, because some people look at some more aggressive sellers look at revenue more, and so they'll have a higher target ACOS. And so they'll be willing to say, you know what, my target ACOS is going to be 10% of my break even, 10% above my break even, because we need the volume. We just need the volume. And so, change that target as needed. We're going to insert here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do equals times 3. Okay? All right. And we're going to go to, so let me go through this. Sorry. So we're going to do equals times 3, hit enter. And then what you want to do is you want to basically hover down into the bottom corner right here. Hold on. Right here to where it turns into a cross that's black. Double click. And then what it does is it autofills all the way down. Okay? Autofills all the way down. And then what we want to do is we want to copy it. Copy all of these. Go over here. Go to Home. Paste values. All right. And then what we want to do is delete this column. All right. So let's see what we've got here. Let's step back. Because when things get really technical and there's a lot of steps involved, you really have to, check in every once in a while to make sure that you're still accurate, you're still doing things right. So what we want to do now is we've tripled the budgets on our campaigns that are under our targets, and we want to delete this over here, okay? And here's what we want to do. After changes, right? After changes. So, select all, copy it, create a new Excel file, paste it, okay? What you want to do is go over here. You want to go to File, Save As. You want to copy this, okay? Go to your new file, go to Save It, paste it, and then put upload. My naming system is ridiculous. After changes, upload. After changes, upload. So this is after our changes. And then what do we want to do? Well, we don't want to upload it right now. Here's what I recommend doing. Did some research. So here's what I did. I went into PPC Scope and looked at some of the bigger accounts that we manage and we have data for. And I looked at 2017 Prime Day timeframe. And the conclusion I came up with was that the 9th, 10th, and 11th were the days where I saw kind of like consistent increases. And so Prime Day started on the 10th last year. I think it rolled through to the end of the 11th. So here's what I'm recommending. On July 15th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, what we want to do is upload these changes, okay? So we want to upload the changes, this specific file after changes. And then on July 18th at midnight Eastern Time, the reason I'm using Eastern Time is because if you go to Amazon's page, like their Prime Day page, they advertise it as starting on the, I think it's the 16th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So if they're using Eastern Time, I'm assuming that they're going to use Eastern Time for when it closes down. Because you don't want to wait until after, because the day after everything tanks. Everything goes down. And so you don't want to on the 19th, you don't want to have these budgets that high on the 19th. I mean, I'm assuming they won't spend, you know what I mean? Like they're not going to spend the money. That's my assumption. But we don't want to take the risk. So what you want to do is, you see how we have the after changes upload? Well, look, we've got the before changes. So on July 15th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, recommending uploading these, right? Uploading these, and then uploading after changes. And then on July 18th at midnight Eastern Time, you can copy this into a new spreadsheet and just like we did here, and then call it before changes upload. And then what you'll do is just restore your budgets back to what they used to be. And then that way we can make sure, we don't overspend. All right, guys, that is what we're doing to increase budgets for our PPC campaigns. Hold on. All right. And so here's what we covered. I guess it's like right next to each other. So we covered campaign budget increases. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you got a ton of value from this, and you just let me know if you have any questions. Chat soon. Bye.